We love technology, but we love technology when it solves a problem, right? So for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be talking about something that everyone is facing. There's a crazy amount of content. If you're an aggregator like Niels and NLZiet here, you have a lot to offer, but you want to take your customers as quickly as possible to content. There's no time to lose. Every friction, every lost moment of attention, it's make or break for your app. And at the end of the day, we measure success by, yes, the big numbers in terms of subscribers, but the time spent is very much the crucial KPI. So without further ado, we're going to kick in, but I think we need a bit of an intro on NLZiet. So can you tell us a bit more about your offer?
Sure. NLZiet is a streaming platform focusing on the Netherlands. We are a public-private corporation, so it means we have content from both the public broadcasters as the private broadcasters. And it's a subscription service where we bundle all the content from these parties. So it's linear content, catch-up, and on-demand streams that you can watch through the service. So it's a huge library. It's a paid service. Basically, it's like a cord cutter's solution for people that do not want to buy their TV subscription through a telco. They can get it directly OTT through us. They just have to put on their smart TV, download the app, and watch it.
And so how did you come to work with the team at Media Distillery? Did you have a problem you were trying to solve?
Yeah, well, we see that approximately 25% of viewing is live, and a lot of people use our platform also as a catch-up service. What we run into was, and we're also competing, of course, with the short-form platform, social media. And what we saw is that that we could deliver a better job for people to, if they're going to rewatch a live program, especially long live programs where different topics were being discussed, that they had to scroll through the whole thing if they wanted to just watch one interview or one sport. And that's exactly what we wanted to try to solve, to help people get faster to the content within a program to see it.
So I'm thinking big dramas people know, right? Perhaps they go into your app with a lot of, intention. They know what they're gonna find. But thinking about sports, maybe factual news, things like that could be trickier. It's more the impulse, but you want to see something specific at the same time. So when you started looking at this problem, did you focus on a specific genre within your platform, or was it more let's fix this thing across the board?
Well, it started off with a consumer information program for where for instance the public broadcast has a show that helps consumers saying, well, this energy company is not doing well, or they have a problem, or somebody has another problem. So they have a program that consists of 4 topics, and that could differ a lot. So when people have seen this show on TV, for instance, and they say yesterday I saw this show about energy, and they don't know the program, then at least they could really fast find it through us. So we made the solution from Media Distillery, which Martin will demonstrate shortly. So they can really fast get into this specific segment of the show instead of having to watch the whole.
At a time where, you said 25% is live, and I'm assuming the rest is, catch up on demand, but we're still very much in this on demand. We want things fast like that. How did you go about fixing that issue for NLZ?
So hi, my name is Martin. I'm the head of product at Media Distillery. For those that don't know us, we're an Amsterdam-based media tech company. We specialize in content using AI-powered content intelligence, which basically means we analyze audio and video, live streams or on-demand content to create a lot of actionable data out of that content, and that's being used to either enhance content discovery, so faster access to relevant content, get better engagement for instance, for sports, or offer better user experiences like the example Niels mentioned. And I think that's one of the things we do. We analyze video, and the key challenge that NLZiet asked us, can you identify these topics that happen in long-form programs, specifically news, sports, talk shows, entertainment? Because the metadata, you might know it, they're quite generic. It might mention this is sports or this is the news. It doesn't tell you the actual topics. And basically that's what we together try to figure out. How can you now help the viewers that might be interested in a specific topic, but not watch everything, so that they can quickly find out what's actually in the program, what's it about, but also then jump to the part they care about and maybe skip the thing they have already seen or they just don't care about.
So I love tech, but I love to hear the pitch, but I love to see the actual execution. So if you have slides for us.
So basically, recently we did a project just 2 weeks before the Olympics started. NLZiet came with a question. Oh, by the way, we're already working on this sports, on like news programs, sports programs, but we have this event coming up in Milan, the Olympics. We will have
the event.
We'll have long broadcasts, and basically, what is the challenge there? There are many different sports happening at the same time. The Dutch broadcaster, the NOS, they do the sports broadcasting. They do not know in advance yet what they will air at what time, because here are live events. The Dutch audience might be interested in more events. And if the Dutch ice skaters are going to the next round, there might be more footage on ice skating, or maybe it's skiing. So the challenge was, it's live content. We do not know a priori what will be aired. Can you identify the different sports disciplines? And basically what we have here, so we want to show real results. This is a screen recording of the NLZiet app from both from web and from mobile. We basically show what we can detect. Let's move to the video. Basically what we show here, screen recording of the NLZiet app, where we in the player or in the menu structure show the different sports disciplines, the official names by the Olympics. Translated it here to English, they were in Dutch, but just for this audience, most people are not from the Netherlands. We basically show chapters of the different sports. So for a viewer who are catching up on this content, maybe in the evening you had to go to work and in the evening you wanted to see what actually was aired, can I see the highlights? They can quickly navigate, or they can at least see what's in the content instead of having just a black box. And then can select themselves. Is this something, do I want to see this ski tracking, or do I want to see something else? And so quickly navigate through all that content. And we did about 160 different programs. Some were 30 minutes, some were 3 hours, and some were live. And sometimes the NOS just did a compilation of a different thing that they didn't air. So there's a lot of content, and basically we provided the viewers with the means to jump to the part they care about.
Fascinating that actual problem during the Olympics on a service I will not name, but you should talk to them, because I wanted to watch the French couple who won the gold medal, and I had to go through manually 4 hours of podcast, and I had no clue where they were slotted. I'll buy that. Is it auto-generated captions, chapters? How does that work exactly in the background?
So we use a lot of different AI technologies and other technologies to create data that can be used to create these type of chapters or bookmarks. So in this case, we generated the titles. We actually created more detailed descriptions, but we also ran into the case that we can provide more details, but they can be spoilers to the viewer. So actually, we can say this person competing against that person, but that might already be a spoiler for someone. In the end, we settled on just showing the discipline. But what we do, we analyze the audio, we analyze the video, generate metadata, and then using that, we try to pinpoint what topics being talked about, and then also use visual information, for instance, transition shots in the studio to identify this is the start of ice skating and this is the end of ice skating.
Are you able to do that on the fly as the event is happening?
And so for this case, we actually provided the end results after the program. So this was primarily for catch-up and replay, but it had to do with 2 weeks notice. But we're currently working on doing it live. So provide what we call key moments. We'll provide them during the event so that people that tune in later to that event can jump to that point and quickly see what they missed.
So for you, I guess once the tech does the magic, the question is, what's the impact on, the time people spend with you? And did you see any major results since you've implemented this?
No, what we see is, it's bad for viewing time, this, because it's better just to let people watch a 4-hour show.
True.
But we believe that if people can come in back again and again and again, and they are happy with the service, they will more likely be staying with us.
So the KPI was not necessarily just time spent in terms of length, but returning viewers. Having said that, if someone is happy one time, like you were saying, they will come back, and could be that they're watching a longer portion than perhaps they initially thought they would. So in terms of doing projects like that, so then how do you measure success on your end?
We measure the success on how many people use it, because we don't do it for all programming is hard for people to find. We have to do a better job in explaining it to people. It's an innovative feature. For instance, in the Olympics, we saw that 15% of the people that were replaying or watching stuff after live, they were using these chapters. So that's really good.
That's very good. Could you be doing this across your entire platform?
Yes.
To elaborate a bit, because we're already doing this for specific programs, and what we started with, we already did this since 2022 with NLZiet. It's about the new talk shows actuality, but that's also specific use cases. But we did see a big bump for sports. That was like a 5 times uplift, 5 times the amount of people that use it, if you look at it just from a day-to-day basis. So it was quite also interesting as a learning, like, hey, for sports, this is really a big driver. Also what we will be taking forward for like future events, maybe for the World Cup or for other sports events. And the funny thing is we measured this for the Olympics, but the week after there was the World Cup ice skating, and the Dutch are really fan of ice skating. Suddenly you also saw another peak. So it really seems like, hey, for this type of chaptering, especially for sports, that seems to be more like the killer type of application. And for other programs, it might be like what you have with YouTube chapters, you can jump to things, but it's not for everyone. And while with these sports events, a lot of things happening at the same time, then it can really help out. But I think overall, it's like there's not one viewer. I think as a platform, you just need to make sure that you can accommodate all the different needs of viewers. So sometimes they watch live, sometimes they watch on demand the entire program, or sometimes they just want to have in 5 minutes, give me the updates what I missed.
And it's not working for every show. So for instance, we tried some talk shows and they were going all over the place, and then I cannot cope with that. So, or at least the solution cannot cope with that. For instance, Today Inside was one of the programs that didn't work.
So what I see, and that's of course, everyone is talking about AI. AI is an enabler to solving real problems. But if you watch a talk show and you cannot pinpoint to me where exactly a topic starts or stops because it goes all over the place, don't expect AI magically to do it better. And it has nothing to do with us as a vendor or other vendors. But it's like that's the challenging part. Really structured programs, like still a broadcast, which is professional, high-grade content. And it's easier to delimit versus a talk show that goes all over the place.
What's also interesting maybe is because we also did the news. And so NOS is the news provider in the Netherlands, the public news provider. So I had to be in discussion with them because they are used to bring a program as a total bundle instead of unbundling it in certain fragments. And sometimes they do that with a certain target in mind. So they really had to be convinced that this is for another type of viewer that doesn't want to watch the whole show.
When you do implement a feature like that within your platform, do you typically have to talk with your different stakeholders within NLZiet?
Not for everything, but when it's when it has a kind of editorial impact, I want to, of course, because we're not the guys that are.
You're the distributor.
We're just
the distributor. And so if I may, on this, were they convinced? Easily convinced? And have you shared anything with them? Are they going to be game because they've seen the value of what you did?
Yeah, and for instance, the NOS is doing it themselves now, so they have really adopted it.
But they're doing slightly different things. So they did this for live, the key moments, just one or two keywords, but not only during the live part. So there's still a lot to gain. And what we also see, there's not one single use case. That's what we are looking at sports. There's not one solution. Sometimes it's like key moments during the game or during the World Cup. That's when does a score happen or penalty. But sometimes it's, afterwards maybe want to have the highlight or all related content. So it's also not one solution that solves everything. There are a lot of different needs, and there are a lot of different tools that you can use to make the user experience better.
So what's next? Because of course you've done that now, and of course you want to do some more things together. Is there any other feature you've been working on?
Yes, the video previews. Of course, lots of these global platforms already have it. You see a tile playing a video. We don't have it. We'll, of course, help people to make a choice of what type of content, at least that is what we hope for. So we're going to start off with a project now with them. They let AI search for a highlight of about 10 seconds of a show. We get the in point and the out point, receive that as a sort of preview or trailer, whatever, and then we can play that out in the tile. And we're going to start experimenting with that and see how that works, and if people are more activated to to watch a certain video with the video.
And so how does that work? Because I have to say that I've seen this on Netflix, which I think this was who you had in mind. I actually switched it off. You can do that because I couldn't take it anymore, but it's me maybe. How do you do it? Because, I was thinking, is someone creating tiny clips that are being put up there? I'm sure you found a way to do it like this.
So it's magic of AI. Just kidding. In the end, like this is something we're now testing with NLZiet, but we already are live with a few other customers. There was a theme already in the previous panels as well. It's like, how do you help viewers get to the right content quicker? Because we have this decision fatigue, or people spend 12 minutes to find something to watch. Well, we also know that short content clips help people be engaged and quickly get an idea what content is about. The challenge that we try to solve is that we have the content, or NLZiet can provide it to us. Can we quickly pinpoint a scene? It's not a trailer. It's also not like a 1.5 minute shot, but just a quick snippet, a preview that gives the viewer a good idea what the content is about. Or what we set as the bar, it needs to be representative. No violence, no nudity,
no spoilers.
No spoilers, but enough to give the viewer a better idea over, for instance, a thumbnail or description. Is this something I want to watch or something I want to skip? And this is where we build a solution using AI, but also together with an editorial team, and it's also what we are doing with NLZ, to check what type of clips or what type of length would you want for different types of content. But over time, we iterated it, and we now have this live for another customer. Like they were doing a few clips by hand, editorial. That's like 15 per week, and now we do like 100 per day automatically. It's fully automated. We get the live stream. We generate for few programs. We create a clip. 5 minutes later, it's available, and they use it in their UI. So that's over 3,000 clips fully automatically generated.
It's funny, it's called video previews, but it sounds very much like social media within, that's the fact that, there's that feed, there's content coming in, and this is you making a decision. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go, etc.? And I think we do need a bit more of that happening, because I have to say that those home pages are resembling themselves more and more, and having an action rail and a comedy rail, that doesn't help anyone making a decision every day. Right now, it's landscape, it's traditional horizontal format. But so could you see, having a vertical version of that?
Yeah, definitely. So when we started with the product, it was more about a preview. But if you now look at consumption of shorts on TikTok, Instagram, is it then content discovery, or is it becoming consumption? So for us, it's evolving from preview to shorts or snacks, short form content that you can watch independently. This is still more discovery, but it could also be a funny scene from a show, and itself is the content. Like I think yesterday in the other sessions, there was discovery is content and content is discovery. It's blending a bit, but something we currently are working on indeed is vertical. Yeah, reformatting this so that it looks better, or more like a swiping interface, or a swipe, and then you can use it for consumption or discovery. It's currently testing this with a few clients.
But do you think it makes sense to have that in a big screen app or just in a mobile app? Like Disney Verts, this name really sucks. Sorry, Disney, but Verts, I mean, anyway, verticals. Is it within their CTV apps, or is it only on mobile?
It's not set in stone, but I think first is the interface itself, like mobile. The swiping is way easier to use than remote and like scroll through a lot of content. But I think in the end, it's not about what I think or what others think will be the best, but what do consumers in the end want to use? And I think that will show. And I think if we talk next year, we will tell you, this worked, or maybe this didn't work. But I think that's getting key. But I do see, if you look at the enormous amount of video consumption in vertical format, that's one of the things that's really on the rise. And I think it will come back to TV as well. But how big it will be remains to be seen.
In France, you have M6 and Arte. They've been doing verticals, so even before Disney, for years now. And they took the option of having a specific spot. So you can watch, you have your different tabs, and there's one that is shorts. And so they haven't shared any results. So we don't know whether that's working for them or not. That's the big question. But they've been doing it for a couple of years. So I assume that if no one was using it, they would have scrapped it. So guys, we're almost out of time. What else? What do you have in mind? Anything else that you guys want to work on to, again, go quicker from I'm here, I need to make a decision to go to content?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we want to check out is whether we can make automated summaries of certain, for instance, the World Cup's coming up. We don't have manual editors. And so if you can make an AI generated highlight of a certain game, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, so that's also something what we're looking at. What we see with a lot of customers like NLZiet, it's like there's a lot of sports content, whether it's the Olympics or just football leagues. You have the live matches, but what else? Well, there's a lot more content that you can around, what we call shoulder content, or content that you might want to rewatch, like as a summary because you didn't see the real match. So that's something where we last week we launched a product suite, sports engagement suite, where we try to combine a few of these features, whether it's the sports chapters that we saw here, the football summaries, which we will be doing with a client for the World Cup in Latin America and maybe in the Netherlands. That remains to be seen. But this is indeed helping the sports fan find all the content in the platform. And it could also be you have the main match and then you know that there's content talking about the match or the interview afterwards with the player or with the coach. And that's the content we can surface as well with our technology and make available in the UI. And that's what we see a lot of interest right now. And that's where we will be doing more on.
Awesome. I love it. So everyone, I think we can give it a big round of applause for our speakers.